people who are going to give their views, then you better call yourselves traitors. So Pipita, hata neza sema kesho at 2 p.m. give us a space. Nimetembea huku nje kidogo nikaona kuna kanisa inaendelea mahali pia. Hata tunaweza fungua kanisa kesho hapa, tuanze kutoa sadaka, tuombee wale waliokufa na pia tuombee maandamano yetu yenye nakuja hapo mbele. But these people are really chest thumping, because who the hell is that person mwenye anatuambia a lifetime? A lifetime what? This is a person mwenye amekuja huku chini akilialia nipatie kura. This is a person mwenye amekuja kutudanganya, kutuambia in 6 months time a stadium in Wote will be complete. In about 3 months time a stadium in OSG it will be complete. By that time I was 13 years old. SISI I'm 24, turning 25 very soon. There is no stadium has been completed. Hata angalia recently the games our national team, the Harambee Stars, hazikufanywa Kenya. Why? Because we don't have standard stadiums here. They had to opt for Malawi wakienda kuchezea huko. So if you are telling us that this person is a lifetime chance to speak to him, fuck yourself. Mimi hata kesho kama Ruto atakuja kwa hii space ya Pipita ama any other space itakuwa hosted na another person, naweza tamani munipatie chance. I will ask him a question about the 3 months time and 6 months time of the stadium. Otherwise, guys, okay. Let me finish. Otherwise, tomorrow, guys, don't join any space that is not hosted by any trip. Don't join Ruto space, kindly. Thank you so much.
Merci beaucoup. Thank you so much. Have a great night ahead. Big Smoke.
Yeah. Asante. I just have like a few things I want to go through. In that, taking into account whatever is happening right now, they think they have you in their palms.
Big Smoke, what happened? Allah? Sorry. Request your mic. Oh, pole sana.
Pole sana, nimekurushia ma new speak ama umemtoa?
Sijui, I don't know what happened. I think amerudi.
Okay. No, it's not them. But anyway, amerudi. Okay, sawa. Kama amerudi,
sorry about that.
No worries. So, as I was saying, anytime guys plan for the demos and they have a space beforehand, the government obviously listens in and watataka kujua ni nini mnapanga na kama mtatokea. So in the event that watu wanapanga kuwa na demos, let there not be spaces or any Twitter whatever beforehand. Just let it happen. Let people get into town and do their thing, because once you come into spaces before the whatever the demonstrations, then the government gets an upper hand on it. Then another thing I wanted to say is that in the constitution, the preamble inasema kwamba we are committed in nurturing and protecting the well-being of the individual, the family, communities, and the nation. So whenever a space is held or whenever just people talk about the country, I think it should be looked at what waongelee the constitution, like talk about the preamble. The preamble tells you on how to set up yourself, because everything is set up in the constitution. Whatever happens. Kesho tukiamua kuingia state house, tutamtoa. Even with the KDF, when they're in the streets, it's even better for us because they'll ensure he gets out of there. So once tumeingia kule, and then you remove them, it's easy. You just follow the constitution. It says the deputy at Akwapo, as elections are held in the next 60 to 90 days. If not, the speaker. The same goes on and on. It's just that simple. The constitution is a very good document that needs to be read every single time there's a space or something of that sort. Just read the preamble, and if you read the preamble, then everything will sort itself out, because all this talking and people repeating themselves inakuwa tiresome to the mind, and that's why you see so many people are psyche ya kutokea kwa streets imeisha, because people are too much loaded with this negative info, and instead you're supposed to look at the positives that have come out of what has just happened in the last 1 month. This stuff was arranged. I mean, ilikuwa all of a sudden, and people agitated for it. Then after that, the government came in and woke up poking holes, or diaspora wars, or Junini was all these different wars. And then you see now there's all this backstabbing and talk of backstabbing and such stuff. So, I mean, SISI, people should focus on the positive stuff instead of the negative stuff. Yeah.
Your time is up. Thank you so much. My next speaker is C. Odera. C. Odera, then Aisha, then Kibubuk, and finally Leila. Let's go in that series and sequence. Your 3 minutes starts now. Odera.
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity to actually also express myself. For one, I want to address 2 issues. I understand the fact that most of us have not experienced anarchy, and we have actually never been to war. It is understandable if we fear the likes of what is happening in Sudan and other countries that actually have been war-torn. But the truth about Kenya is that we know that we can do better. And that is why we are challenging our systems and we are challenging ourselves. We do not really want to get to the level of Sudan, because that is not what we want. And that is why the leaders and every other person should really push for this, so that we don't get to the level of Sudan, but we make it peaceful and we can transform our society to be a better place. Secondly, I want us to remember that there is always an analogy of a frog in the jar, where the frog, when they get into the jar and you hit from the bottom, they always feel the warmth. And if they actually don't detect the heat and jump into the jar very fast, with time, actually the frog gets the water gets warmer and they can never jump out and they die. Now, what am I trying to bring about? We have our issues in Kenya. We know that we have good challenges, but if we actually fear the outcome of the transformation that we are seeking for, then what is going to happen? We are going to get to the state where we are not going to get to Sudan or Burkina Faso as we are quoting, but we are going to get to a state where there will be no revolution, there will be no change, we will be stagnant, and each and every one of us will actually literally die from the inside, and we'll never question our leaders any time anymore. So this is the moment that actually each and every person, regardless of the generation that you come from, you should actually sit down, rethink on how you can actually participate and bring positivity and inject new energy into our system. We are not seeking to topple the government. We are not seeking to to derail our development and also to get to the Sudan way, but we are seeking for the best, kwa sababu we know we have the potential of being the best. That is why we are here, and that is what we are talking about. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Next, please. I had given the floor.
Good morning, host, co-host, and my fellow criminals. My condolences to our fallen heroes. Please let us remain united. When we fear the government, there will be tyranny. But when the government fears us, there is liberty. So let us remain united. Because kuna saa zingine kama watu kuna space tofauti, tuko kwa space tofauti. Ukiona mtu pengine kuna kitu amefanya kwa hii space ambayo iko sawa, ni vizuri tu umjulishe kuliko wajua sisi kama sasa tukikaa kama tumejiganya ndio furaha ya serikali. Na hata sijui tutafanyaje kwa sababu nimeona za zile kisemekana kuwa nimefuatilia ikasemekana huyo ofisa mmoja ni wa Uganda. Tutafanyaje ndio M7 aache kuingilia mambo yetu? Na tena Kindiki anasema hajui officers wenye walikuwa wamevaa nguo za raia, which means hajui hata kazi yake. Ukiangalia ambulance badala ibebe wagonjwa inabeba wabunge. Yaani kila kitu kwa nchi yetu iko kinyume kabisa. Ni sisi tuungane pamoja na tusiogope serikali. Imeua watu wengi na tukizidi kunyamaza ndio bado tunagandamizwa kabisa. Kwa sababu Zakayo hana utu kabisa. Na hata mwenye ataenda kwa space yake kesho hata sijui afuata nini. Kwa sababu yule mtu ni muongo. Hakuna siku atasema ukweli. Tafadhali tuwe pamoja kwa kila kitu. Na ukiona mwenzako amekosea rekebisha. Haina haja msengenyane. Hiyo ndio inaleta utengano. Ndio serikali inafurahia. Yangu ni hayo tu. Asante.
Are you unasikia Leila? Leila?
Yes, hello, good evening.
Good evening to you.
Yes, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Home Run TV, thank you very much. Mine is very simple and very short. I want to give my deepest sympathy to all the bereaved families that are actually burying their beloved ones. And us all as Kenyans, who we are affected by all this. Because of the shoddy governance of Ruto and his goons. I am very bitter tonight. I have been listening to you. I am the mother of the Genzs. And we are the people that have suffered so much. We have educated our Genzs and our millenniums so that they can carry that pain they are doing now. And they are doing very well. And I'm here as a mother of them to support them and to make sure that nothing will go wrong and they will not fail. And I want each one of you to put in that big hand of Viva to be together and fight the enemy. We must get this out. We cannot live like this. We went without food to make sure our children go to school, to make sure that tomorrow they know what they know today, what we never could have had. It was not for nothing. And I'm so glad to be here with you and hear each one of you say that, what you're saying. And tomorrow we are not going to Ruto. We are not going to space for him. For what? Did he ever come to feed us? All he's done is to kill our people. Charlene Ruto, your father is a murderer. Shame on you. And so whoever is asking who is financing, it is the bitterness of the parents, of the grandparents, of the fathers. They've had a hard life. And each one of you, you know what I mean. I'm a simple Kenyan. And I've sweat, every sweat, to feed myself and my children, Genzs, millennials, and each one of us who is fighting for this. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Asante sana. Kibubuk, are you there?
Where people are
Kibubuk, are you there?
angry. Yeah, Ruto umefika watu kwa core, by the way. Ujuage hivyo.
Kibubuk going once. Kibubuk going twice.
Yes. Thank you very much, Petit, the co-host, and my fellow listeners. Thank you for this time. Mine also are very short.
there is 2 questions that have been brought on about Charlene Ruto, what she said. Like that guy said, she seems to be so proud there, like this thing we must win. So to my fellow Genzs and all those who are standing for the truth, let's be very, very careful with the space tomorrow. Because as some guys have said here, if this guy can lie in the front of a screen, in the front of a TV, how about behind the scene? Definitely, he will be lying, smiling, with no fear. If he can escape questions or skip questions that he was being asked live on TV, how about questions that you guys will ask just by speaking? To me, I don't think we need to go to that space. No one should go. You can see how this guy have interrupt our peaceful demonstration and turn it out into a destructive demonstration. If it is not them, we could have done the best protests that have ever been seen. But the government has interfered and they have made it destructive. And the peaceful demonstrators were left with nothing to say. So guys, according to me, I will suggest that let's not go to that space at all, because I don't think there is a solution that we're going to be given. Whatever that is there is just a lie, and it is just a normal thing that we are going to be told that we will do this, but nothing will be done. So many people have said, already this must be a planned thing. It must have been planned already. So whoever will go there, no matter what you are going to say, whatever that has been already planned, whatever that I am going to say already said, that is what is going to be passed, and that is what is going to be said in that space. So I don't see the meaning, and I don't see the reason why this space has been full of. I don't see, and I would just like to urge you guys, let's don't entertain that. Let's don't accept it, because once we accept it, it will be like even that demonstration that we have done. I don't think it is going to make any sense. It is going to look like we have done nothing.
Your time is up.
So let's be very careful, and that space, let's just leave it out. Thank you very much, and you guys have a blessed morning.
Thank you so much. Have a great night ahead. Hey, how is your name? Abdul Karim Simba. Your 3 minutes begin now. Please open up your mic and talk to us. After you, we have Eric.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think mnanisikia, if you can confirm for me.
100%. Go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you. So, I think mambo mingi imeongelewa tayari na watu wengi wamezungumza. My point is that sasa pale nchi inaelekea ni naweza kusema si nchi ya wajinga tena. Najuzi nimeona video moja kutoka Uganda wakiwa wameweka tu vuguvugu ya kwamba tunaandamana. Imeleta shida sana mpaka rais ametoa threats nyingi sana. But whatever we have now Kenya ni something that tunafaa tuitreasure sana. Nikiongezea tu katika mazungumzo ambayo yanataka kuzungumzwa kesho. Nilikuwa nimefatwa, I have people in ambao tunajuana kwa the space of the president. Kielezo kwamba sisi vijana yani anajaribu kuleta vijana tuwe katika hiyo nafasi. So mimi nikamwambia tutakuwepo sisi and we will be there to listen. Japo si kwamba atasema kitu kipi ambayo hatujawahi kukisikia, ama si ati atazungumza maneno ambaye hakuweza kutu convince wakati anazungumza kwa TV live watu wakimuona, ambaye atazungumza tumuelewe kwa space. So kimimi watu wamsikilize, lakini sidhani kama kuna mabadiliko yoyote. Na pale tumefikia tunahitaji tukue serious. Unajua enda inakuwa ni watu upande mwingine wanazungumza kivingine na upande mwingine wanazungumza kivingine. Kama mfano wanasiasa wameingilia, harakati pia wameingia katikati. Kila mmoja anajaribu kujionyesha kwamba sisi ndo tulikuwa front line kwa hiyo maneno. Kama mfano kina Edwin Sifuna, kina Senator nani, wote sasa ndio wanajifanya wameona kuna vitu zilikuwa zinaenda wrong, kuna pesa kama gari yangu imelipiwa expressway 300,000 nimeshangaa, na wakati kwa 2 years. So kuna vitu vingine kwa vitu zingine zinakuwa hazieleweki. Kwa hivyo mimi kile nikimalizia ni kwamba tuwe ni makini na tu focus, let's focus kwa ile kitu ya msingi tunayokitaka. Kama ni kuingia katika space ya rais, tumuelezeni kabisa kama kuna hivi vitu tumetua tukiaddress kila siku, kama hazitofanyika basi wewe tutaendelea na hashtag yetu na wewe utaenda nyumbani very early in the morning. So asanteni kwa nafasi hii.
Thank you so much, Abdul Karim. Really appreciate your time. Eric, your mic is hot. Eric Onguka, is your mic hot? Are you there? Eric going once. Eric going twice.
Eric, are you there? Let me see. Come on, Eric, are you hearing me? Wherever
Eric,
you
are you there?
Who are you?
Let's go to Cobra. 3 minutes begin now.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity, and I want to thank my fellow Genzs and millennials for the strong fight they put forward to ensure that our countries get taken back to the right path. Sorry, one thing that I would really mention is that you know very well that the entire Africa is struggling to ensure that good governance and proper use of their natural resources and wealth put in good use that can benefit citizens. We need to put the government into account of our taxes. That number one, we need to ensure that this thing called corruption and number two, wastage, duplication of most of the state corporation, state departments and ministries, the wage bill and all this. So you find that the new people who are going to school and our young people, us and plus other fellows, don't get chance into the government to contribute.
Cobra. Are you there, Cobra? We lost you.
Okay. Sorry for that.
Oh, you're back. You're back.
And India and China. I was talking about countries with big population. We're just 53 million Kenyans. We have everything in Kenya. that can support Kenyans who are living here and the ones who have gone abroad. So if we want to put the president to account, number one is that he needs to do what we call reset, to press reset button. A reset button, we start from zero by taking into account what we are telling him to do. Because they were going the wrong direction. That's why he was able to recall the finance bill. So he has to press the reset button to start again with our views. Collectively, we can ensure that there's the issue of corruption is put to aside. The issue of nepotism, politicians taking advantage of unsuspecting Kenyans who are not able to reach, who are not affiliated to them, inequality. And then we can sustain the 17 SDGs in our country to ensure that we have equal development opportunities for across the 47 county governments. So as young people, it is our time to make sure that we move our country to the right direction. As I finalize, we need to tell the president to pull down the ministries to a fewer number that can sustain our budget, not the ballooned one. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Cobra. I have two more speakers, then I think I'll be giving my parting shot as the co-host. Then Pipita, you'll give us your parting shot as we say good. We bid each other good night and we close down the space. So, I have Dr. Not doctor, but director. I think so. Director Abdir. Director Abdir, is your mic hot, please? Speak to us. Your 3 minutes start now. Go ahead, please.
Yes, thanks for the time. I think I'll speak more on the part of the solution. Everything that I want to say has been said over the evening. But I want to urge all the Kenyans listening to this space that when we started the hashtags and the operation Ruto must go and the reject finance bill, I think our gears were at gear 4. I think we started with gear 4. I want to urge all of us that we should tomorrow, when these guys come to us with their experts trying to preach to us lies, with the billion lies that we've been seeing and hearing from the Ruto and his gang, we should turn to gear 7. Tomorrow should be gear 7. Let us make gear 7 to trend, because we should feel remorse and we should feel the pain that many families are feeling tonight. Like this, one of our speakers made us emotions. Madam Leila, I think, she spoke, I think she was crying even. And you can imagine she may not even have lost her loved one in the protest. A lot of mothers in this late night, they are feeling lonely. Their sons are no more. Their daughters are no more. And you can see in one, the law of crisis management is for the organization or the individual to yield. You have to accept the consequences that you have done wrong. But when you look at these guys, I think these guys are very arrogant. These guys are very arrogant. And they are not showing the signs of even accepting what is happening even after the aftermath of the protest. You can see what the CS for Interior was speaking today. Totally rubbish. Trying to say that he does not know the number of deaths or trying to protect this policeman. He's been asked simple questions, trying to dodge the question. You know, these guys are rude. Mimi yangu is to say tomorrow, let us not even go to that space. Let us turn away from these guys. Let us bring our, tupandishe hasira, because we did an unprecedented thing, which even they are afraid of them. All of them are afraid. Even this Charlene, I don't know the name that we have given her recently. You see the we got. These guys are very afraid of for their lifestyle, because we achieved something that they thought we will never achieve. Occupying parliament, it is unprecedented. Occupy State House, I'm sure, let me tell you, it could have been possible, tungeamua wote kuamka na kwenda. So tomorrow yangu ni kusema, let us don't turn to that space. Let him and his children and the CSS, let them go there. Let Linturi go there and listen and make it. Just let us not go there, in short.
Time is up.
Yes, thanks. That's what I wanted to input.
Okay. Thank you, Director. We are going to Innocent. Then we close down the space. Innocent,
Hello.
Please go ahead. Your 3 minutes begin now.
You can hear me?
Yeah, perfectly well.
Oh,
go ahead, please.
Oh, great. Okay, I'll try to be very precise. Huh? I have 3 things to quickly raise, which are very, very important, and then last thing should be about the solution. But basically, some of the biggest questions that somebody should be asking the government is something like, take the first example, NHIF. People are contributing money, and then they have decided to give preference to civil servants, whereas even the private sector contributors are giving money. Where is that money actually going to? I'm having cases whereby people who've contributed for 4 5 years without putting in a claim, when they need some services, NHIF never approves that. So they have messed up the health sector, and that is something that needs to come out very clearly. All who told them to come up with all these new ideas that are not working, they should have take the flag. Number 2, it's about the help, and I'm talking about things that really affect the Gen Zs. The education funding, they just needed perhaps to improve on what help is doing, the structures, but all these new things about means testing and you can clearly see capitation is not going to schools on time. I mean, it's not as worse as it was during even the previous regime. They did away with Eduafia. These are very basic things that they need to be called to account for. Why do away with something that was working instead of improving on it? Number 3 is for my children, the Gen Z. It's very easy to hold all these meetings and the spaces and everything and revolt. I mean, it's pretty good, all the issues that were raised, because I'm alive to these things, whereby somebody keeps promising all sorts of big things, but you don't actually see any action, tangible action. So the easiest way, as somebody else has already mentioned, make sure that this time around, take your vote and actually vote. That is how you can speak. If you abstain from voting, then you start complaining that, about this government. If you didn't vote, then you're actually part of the problem. So this is a good lesson for those people who always say, kura inaibwa, what, and all those things. No, make sure you actually take the vote, so that next time you are able to exercise your right. And if there is any complaint you can make, you make a complaint from a point of knowledge. Because currently, those who voted for William, and they are known, we clearly call them and tell them, look, we were telling you that this guy is a liar. So the power of the vote is very important. And that's how you can also be able to choose your leaders. Then lastly, in as much as we have all these spaces and people can be able to ventilate, we should be thinking and discussing about what next if he goes. And we are not encouraging anybody to actually go to those spaces, which they will be holding, and all this and that. But then we now need to look for solutions. Yeah, so that is all I wanted to say. Look for solutions as much as we are ventilating. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you so much. It's 44 minutes past top of the hour, East African time. Basically a few minutes to 1 a.m. in the morning. And this has been an amazing journey, an amazing conversation with all of you. Remember, there's a point where we are at 16,000 participants in here. And thank you so much, guys, for joining. For those who dropped off to sleep, thank you so much. And I really appreciate your time. I appreciate your amazing sentiments. We are Kenyans and Kenya is our business. And I'm glad that, such platforms. We're using such platforms to, educate each other and speak sense to each other and even challenge each other to think towards some certain directions, or rather for our thought processes to take some certain trajectory. And I really appreciate your time, guys, just coming in. The guys I started seeing here when the space began and are here until now. I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate your time that you took to even comment, for all those DMs, those numerous DMs that you sent. I'm sorry, there are times the host had challenges, and so the space had encountered a few issues, and we couldn't even see your mic request. But thank you so much for being patient with us. For those who came on top and just to speak, thank you so much. Like I said, we are Kenyans, and Kenya is our business. We are all grown-ups. We know what is rightfully right for us to do. And I mean, I cannot tell you to do what you don't want to do. I cannot tell you to do what you want to do. So, or rather, not to do what you want to do. So, tomorrow, there's a big day ahead for Kenyans. I mean, Kenyans on X, to be precise. I wish you guys all the best. Do what is right with you. Do what is, what your mind tells you is right. I'm not here to tell you don't do this or do this. Do this. I mean, some of you are even older than me, so I don't have the right to tell you what to do. With that said and done, I wish you all the best tomorrow. For the people who will be hosting that space, I wish you all the best. If you are able to go on that space and you are able to be given that mic, I hope you speak your mind, you speak for the millions of unheard voices out there. I hope you be very objective. I hope you be very, you do what is rightful as a citizen. And may God bless you. May God bless your families as you go to bed, as you retire to bed. May God be with you. And PP, thank you so much for hosting this space. And I'd just request the 2,000 of you to go on my pinned tweet and please retweet that tweet. I'm a video journalist. My name is Ayo the Sixth. I'm a producer director. During this protest, I've been covering end to end, trying to break barriers and, just record and edit and make those images make sense and send a message to, my followers out there. This is what I do. This is what my passion is. And I hope that, in whatever we do at this particular moment in our country, I hope we impact each other positively. I hope we speak sense to each other. I hope we speak, hope to each other. And, we are praying for our country and we hope for a better Kenya for the children of our children. Good night, guys, and God bless. Pipi, back to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Yo, for also helping me co-host through these spaces. It has been quite a space, 200 plus speakers, 200 plus requests, and I can still see more that I'm not even able to see. Asanteni sana kwa wale watu ambao wamekuja kutusikiza siku ya leo, wale ambao pia waliona kazi ni nzuri wakaingia pale hivi juu kwenye tip jalai, nasema asante sana. I'd like to say thank you for everybody who has raised their sentiments, both of those who are on the side of the president going for that space and those who didn't want to go for the space, and also making it as engaging as possible. 16,000 people came to today's space. It is a personal record for myself. I want to say thank you for everybody for supporting me, for staying up late with me. I wish I could stay much longer, but it is more than 8 hours since I started the space. My back is killing me, and I have to catch some sleep and come back tomorrow again, 4 p.m. We will be live for Home Run with PP Friday edition. And of course, I know there will be a lot of things to talk about. If you like what I'm doing, of course, Pale Viju, Tip Jaline is always on. You can, even if the space ends, 0721948229 is the number. And wale watu wenye wamekuwa wakienda hizo spaces wakiongea, may we not stop talking. May we keep on our voices out there. And of course, we'll never stop lighting candles. I'm told there is one of our comrades who died on in Mombasa by gunshot. They're going to be buried there. I probably want to mention that before I end the space. That find out from me and also reach out to me, and I'll let you know how to attend that particular burial. Yote 9:10 ni kwamba asanteni sana kwa kukuja hapa hivi kwenye home run with Pipi. It is always amazing to keep it engaging. I will be seeing you tomorrow evening for yet, and actually it's today, in the next about 16 hours I'll be back again live for yet another space. Until then, have a good one and be safe, guys. Bye.
So guys, the live has ended. Let me look for the record. Nionekana nitaipata. Kama nitaipata, then we'll play it. If I don't get it, I'm really sorry, guys. Where haiko. I'm really sorry. Ni kama alikuwa harecord. So hence live imeisha. I think I wouldn't mind. There is another live over here. I want you to listen to what these people are telling us. One moment. Let me see what they are saying. Hey, and here we have many people who talked in this space, man. The speakers were many. Walikuwa wengi bana. Hii story ilikuwa si jokes. Watu hawataki mchezo bana. Walikuwa hawataki mchezo bana. So guys, thank you so much. Yeah, acha tuone ni gani nyingine iko hapa. No, just wanna get home, guys, you know. So the suggested spaces zenye watu wataingia kesho zitakuwa ni space number 1, space ya Osama Otero. Hiyo ndio space yenye watu wataingia kesho. So kama wataka kuingia space, na kama hautaingia space, I urge you come here because I will be live. Itakuwa live from the beginning to the end. Nitahakikisha nimeingia huko kama kitu saa 7 go drilling hivi, and then baada ya hapo kila kitu itakuwa poa. Yes, I am. So guys, yeah, where is this one? I'm not even seeing it well. Don't know what's happening over here. So hence kuna watu hapa wanaongelea the UK election results and breakdown. Listen here. Boom.
I mean, the projections are coming thick and fast. Penny Mordaunt, who won Portsmouth North convincingly with a 15,780 majority, won 28,172 seats previously, had 61% of the share, and she was considered the possible Conservative Party leader instead of Rishi Sunak, and when they basically put Rishi Sunak in place, she seems to have lost the seats. And again, it's the same thing where the vote between the Conservative and the Reform split to such an extent that it does seem to suggest, based on the exit polls, that Labour have won the seat. Another example of the Reform and the Conservative vote splitting and then giving victory to Labour. What's your thoughts on that? And Penny Mordaunt, the possible future?
Let's look for these.
Get pulled out, how exactly the cookie's going to crumble. But it would be a great shame to lose a talent like Penny. I actually supported her for the leadership against Rishi in the last leadership battle, shall we say, because I thought that she was going to be someone who would be able to communicate with people. And that's really important in politics. The ability to speak human, to be able to resonate with people is really important.
Yeah, being able to speak with people is really important in politics.
I just never thought that. And so it was pretty clear to me that he shouldn't be the leader. I'm sorry to have been proven right. But
yeah, Marcus, isn't that the problem, that Rishi Sunak was never elected? Likely, if the voting happened as the previous voting, do you think that's impacted the result, or do you think it is the state of the UK that had a much more major factor?
I think I always trust the British people at the ballot box, and they're not stupid in aggregate. They are far from it, and I think they have essentially judged, or a part of it has judged, that whole process was a stitch up, and that's why they're so angry. That, in addition to what I talked about earlier, which is the really difficult economic circumstances that the last couple of years has presented to all sorts of people. And inflation is a terrible, terrible scourge. It really is very difficult for governments that preside over inflation to get re-elected. But yeah, I think it was a mistake to elect Rishi, and I said so to colleagues quite forcefully at the time, because I didn't think he would be able to connect, and I thought that his approach to, while I agreed that having fiscal responsibility is essential, and being able to show that as clear blue water between the Conservatives strategy, really, and I didn't think that the cabinet's approach to this and the Prime Minister's approach to it was going to be a success.
Marcus, do stay on, and we do understand your perspective. It makes a lot of sense and kind of explains some factors behind why the Conservative Party has been decimated. Jim, I want to ask you a question. Obviously, you all know my opinion about Nigel Farage. I don't like his policies, his ideas, and a lot of the things he says, but it's not about me. I know you are someone who has kind of supported him and the Workers' party. When I'm looking at these exit polls, Jim, and I'm looking, and again, these are just polls. Obviously, the results may be different. But when I'm looking at these exit polls, even in seats where Reform has lost, they gained a lot of the vote. So I'm looking at, for example, Portsmouth, Penny Mordaunt's constituency, and a couple of others on the exit polls. And the Conservatives won a decent percentage, came second. The Reform sometimes came third or second. There was a switch between the two, but both of them together won a very high percentage. What does that say for this party to win such a percentage for a new party? It kind of puts them in a strong position for the next elections. What's your thoughts, Jim?
Well, as I said before, Solomon, the next election could see a massive turnaround for Reform UK, with them possibly becoming either the official opposition or even winning the actual election itself. And I think it's related to, going back to a point that Marcus was making, by the way. I think he's spoken very well. I can tell he's tired. I know what it's like when you're fighting elections as hard as that. And there's obviously been a bit of demoralisation going on within the Conservative ranks as well. I don't agree with his point on Penny Mordaunt. In fact, I would go as far as to say that anybody who is actively connected to the World Economic Forum should not hold public office, because their loyalties are not to the people, they are to globalists. I also want to come back to a point that I think her name was it Hannah? Yeah, Hannah Ali, the Labour activist. I listened very carefully to what she was saying. And I do feel for her, because when you are a true activist, when you truly believe in something and you can see the direction that the party's going in, you don't agree with it, it's heart-wrenching, because I had that same problem when I was a Conservative parliamentary candidate as well. And I do understand her position in relation to that. And when she says she's politically homeless, I completely understand that as well. What I will say to her and everybody else who's listening, I had a very interesting experience in the Brexit Party, because when I joined, I expected it to be a bunch of disaffected Conservatives and possibly UKIP people there as well. To my surprise, I would say at least 40, perhaps 45% of the candidates and the people involved at senior level within the Brexit Party were from the traditional Labour left. But they were strong Brexiteers. They believed in that particular side of things. And that's where the unity came in. We didn't always agree with certain aspects of policy, but we did. It's an important thing to remember going forward, because there's a lot of people who have spoken very well here that might be slightly to the left or might be slightly to the right. But actually, I've always maintained that it's important to hear the other person's point of view, to show respect to people, even although you might not always agree with them on certain points. We can find common ground where we look for it. And indeed, we're often misled and set at odds with division, when in actual fact there's more that unites us than that which divides us. So I hear what she said, and I would say to her, hold firm. I agree with her point of view. Sir Keir Starmer is not the right man to be leading this country. We're going to see big problems as a result of that. It's sad, it's sad, but I think we have to look forward. And one other thing I will say, and it was going back to Marcus's point about splitting the vote, and your point as well, Solomon, which was a good one, and that is, did Reform cause Labour to win? Well, possibly. But, the Conservatives didn't want to do any deals with Nigel Farage and his party when he stood down hundreds of candidates to avoid splitting the vote. So he made the offer, much to the upset of many, many of my fellow Brexiteers, who were great candidates and were ready to fight. I was one of the lucky ones. I stood in Barnsley East. It was a target seat, and myself and my colleague came first and second in the entire UK in terms of performance and nearly winning our seats. And most of the people that were helping me and my team were actually traditional Labour people, but they were strong Brexiteers, and they were great people, very, very good activists, and great support to me. So I came closest to winning my seat back in the last general election of 2019. And it was a hard fight, but we nearly got it, but no cigar. So my respects to all the political candidates out there who've been fighting hard. We all fight to win. Sometimes we do and sometimes we don't. But there's always the next time. And I would say to people who are listening to this and thinking, well, maybe there's another party that could be formed, or maybe there's a new direction. But it takes willingness from the party leaders. And Richard Tice was an absolute disaster for Reform UK. He was never the leader. He was always the follower. And until Nigel Farage came back at the helm, we would have been seeing a very, very different election turnout. I doubt very much if they would have won any seats under Richard Tice. He doesn't have the persona. He doesn't have the leadership skills. People generally don't really think very much of him. And at the end of the day, when Nigel stepped in, that was the game changer. That is what would take it forward. So what we might see at the next general election is a very resurgent Reform UK. And don't forget, if they get 13 or 17 MPs when the dust settles and the cards have fallen and we all see exactly where we are, they are going to build on that. Believe you me, they are going to build on it. They're going to build it from a position of strength. They've come really from nothing. To get 13 or 17 seats or whatever it is actually quite an achievement for a new political party. And I hope that the Workers' Party do some well. I do hope that George gets back in, but, I hear what you're saying, Suleiman. That may not be the case. I don't know. But I think it's worth watching. I think over the next 3 or 4 years, people may have very much regretted voting for Sir Keir Starmer. But that's something that can be built on, and it's something that we can move forward with. And who knows, when left and right that are moderate come together and work together, great and magnificent things can happen. And I'll tell you, it could happen that could actually happen. So it's worth watching. To those people who have fought hard, well done. You've fought a good fight. And don't be too disheartened, because at the end of the day, you'll live to fight another day as well. So it's an interesting one. I'm thrilled to be here taking part in this, and I'm very, very interested to hear other people's perspectives and points of view. And I have to say, even although I may not be politically aligned to some of them, I think the speakers that you had have spoken very well indeed. And I pay tribute to John from Glasgow as well. I followed you back, John. I think you spoke incredibly well about the SNP. And I would like to invite you onto my channel to discuss that a little bit further down the line. So once again, I'll hand back to you, Suleiman. Thank you very much.
Hello, Sulaiman. Can you hear me?
Oh, sorry. I was speaking, but I had to unmute. Sorry. So I'm looking at some of these seats that were projected where there was a significant, I would say, a decent person that you thought may, take this seat from the Labour Party. The Birmingham Ladywood seat comes to mind, where Ahmed Yaqub took on Shabana Mahmood, and he is predicted to lose, as well as Khalid Mahmood is projected to lose. But a lot of these projections are very early on, so I don't know if we could take them with a grain of salt. But I mean, it looks like UK, US. What's your thoughts on the fact that a lot of the candidates, where there was focused attack on Labour seats, that Labour seemed to have projected to still win them? What does that say for the Labour Party?
Yes, that's great, Simon. I'm just going to come to your question, but first I just want to have another comments. So first of all, I just want to say that I think I still see hope with Keir Starmer being the Prime Minister of the UK, bringing lots of things in the UK, stopping the NHS to be privatised, changing the culture of the country, staying away from corruption, staying away from cronyism. We have seen, let's say, the big contracts that they've been given to the friends of the Tories actually in the last 5 years, and they've wasted a huge amount of money, billions and billions of resources. These are the realities first-hand that we have seen. I really feel sorry for Rizwana, for Hannah, especially for Hannah, that she has been long maybe a Labour activist or something, but she can say that she's politically homeless. But the message is very clear. The people of this country, they have stood for Labour. They have the turnout of the votes are very high. And then this is the reality. We need to accept this one first. Secondly, regarding what Jim said, Jim, with Reform Party being the biggest party in another election, I definitely accept this one. Peter Patel, Robert Jenrick, Lee Anderson, even Rishi Sunak. I think it was one of the debates that he said that I'm ready to leave the European Convention of Human Rights. something that really stands on the way of the Tories to send the refugees or the asylum seekers, sanctuary seekers to Rwanda. So I think these all people are somehow depicting a picture of being far right. They're already far right. This is the reality. But also, at the same time, the reality is with far right comes lots of very bad things. Look at the private health insurance. Look at deregulation. They don't have any care for knowledge. Look at Donald Trump. They are defense of Donald Trump. Nigel Farage is supporting Donald Trump. He is disregarding knowledge, science, evidence-based approach. He's saying that we only need deregulation. We only need only make money, make profits, and make profits. I'm a doctor. I've got a master's degree in public health. I know firsthand what climate change is causing migration, is causing mass migration from Iraq, from my home country, Afghanistan. The people are coming because of lack of resources. This is the nature that it is what it is. So we need to tackle the source of the problem. If we don't want migration, illegal migration in the UK, we need to have globalist foreign policies, a humane approach in order to address the source of the problem, the war, the conflict, the climate change. So the green policies and everything are important. I really see Donald Trump, I really see Farage, I really see those far-right people a threat not only to the governance and these things, but to humanity, to how we see the world, let's say, to how we have respect. Making profit. The only thing they know is giving big taxes actually to big corporations, deregulation. They shouldn't be under regulation. They can do anything with the nature. They can do anything with the planet. Look at the sewage problems. They dumped lots of very bad things on our shores, on our rivers, actually, in the UK. Look at that. That's a catastrophe. That's devastating, Jem. I'm sorry. So the third thing, Sulaiman, you're definitely right. Immigration remains to be the biggest problem, the biggest issue on the next election. It's going to be the hottest topic. It's going to chart the way forward for another 5 years in the UK, because definitely Nigel Farage will exploit this one. Lots of other people, Robert Jenrick, others. But the reality is that the migrants coming from France, from Calais, is only 30 to 45,000 people. The 45,000 people, not more than that. But look at the number of legal migration, the net migration to the country. Sulaiman was talking about the non-EU migration from India, from China, from Thailand, from lots of other countries, working with our NHS, working in social care, actually, the care homes, those places that we keep our elders. That's something that we need. Without them, the system will collapse, Jim. Definitely. This is how the UK is benefiting from migration. Despite the diversity, despite, let's say, lots of the skills and the knowledge that they come with them, actually, lots of, the easier schemes that we have, the point-based migration system, it definitely is a scoring system. The people are coming, but only 45,000 people. They're just playing on the cart of illegal migration as the biggest thing. And that's not the biggest thing. There's something to say about the dinghies, about these things. So the fourth thing, regarding the globalist, actually, I'm very sad to see the Jem. I know Jem, I have a great deal of respect for him. He's an informed man. I have respect for Hannah. But I see that Hannah and Jem are on the same page, actually. They're both attacking globalists. We need to be globalist. We need to have global agendas. Davos, the World Economic Forum, is very important. We need to have, let's say, supply chains. We need to have international security. We need to have United Nations. We need to have the World Health Organization. Think about another pandemic. If there is an outbreak of a disease, for example, in one of the Asian countries, we definitely need to have the World Health Organization, to have the alarm systems of the World Health Organization to ring the bell and say that there is a virus which is going to soon change to a pandemic, like the coronavirus. That is the meaning of being a globalist. The green agenda, being part of the globalist, that's very important. I'm very sorry for those people like Donald Trump, actually, like other far-right people that they don't accept the Paris Accords, actually, the COP26, the Conference of the Parties that we had in Glasgow. I was attending 13 days in Glasgow, actually, the Science Centre in Glasgow. We had President Biden, we had Johnson, everyone here in this country. So I don't know why our friends are attacking. Nationalism is the right of the people of this country. At the same time, we need to strike a balance between nationalism and globalism. Globalism is very important. International security is very important. Supporting Ukraine is very important. Our supply chains are very important.
Just a quick one. Sorry, just a quick one. We are getting the first set of result is from Houghton and Sunderland. The Green Party has 1,723 votes. Conservative, 5,513 votes. The Lib Dems, 2,290. Bridget Phillipson for the Labour Party has 18,837 votes. She's clearly won this seat of Houghton and Sunderland South. That is the first set of results that has come through. And then the Reform Party has got 11,668. So they were second in Houghton and Sunderland. But Bridget Phillipson for Labour holds the seat of Sunderland, but a significant win by the Lib Dems on that seat. That is the first result that's come in. These results will be trickling through throughout the night, but that is the first result in. Bridget Phillipson, she won the seat previously. Let me check what was the stats, but she has won. But Reform, again, this is what I was talking about. Reform Party, even though they didn't win the seat, a significant result in terms of voters. Like, they only got 7,169 less. Got double of the votes of the Conservative Party. Sam Woods-Brass came second. So that is interesting and significant. If you look at the 2019 results, I always like to compare. Bridget Phillipson won 16,210 votes. So she won 2,000 more votes this time. And Conservatives last time were 13,000. So they dropped to 5,000. They lost 8,000 votes. Interestingly, last time the Brexit Party won 6,000 votes. So it looks like the Brexit Party and the Conservative Party switched positions. I mean, I know you can't really say Reform Party is a Brexit party, but that is the first result coming out from Houghton and Sunderland South, which is that Bridget Phillipson has won the seat. Labour have one seat on the board. Guys, we are about to wrap up on this space. I'll put a tweet in the nest because I'm going to be doing an all-night space on this. We'll probably be on till the early hours of the morning. So the tweet is in the nest. Anybody who wants to come, please do come. Many of the panelists, you are invited, all the listeners. The tweet is in the nest. That's where we'll all be moving to. In addition to that, Twitter Live, we are expecting George Wild Galloway is going to drop in, likely, as long as, I don't know if he loses, if he's going to, but up to now, I've had discussion with him, likely. If he wins, and he will be dropping in around 3 a.m. UK. That's when they're expecting the Rochdale result, between 2 and 3 a.m. So do check that tweet in the nest. We are moving there. But guys, in terms of this, appreciate you guys joining in. We have the first result. Luckily, we're online for it. And we'll continue to give the results in the other space. But the tweet is in the nest. Anyway, appreciate you guys joining in. Appreciate you guys listening. And for sure, we will see you guys next
avoid red flags zinakuanga ni gani kwa madem nini? Of course tushajua ya kwanza wasichana wakabete fire.
Whatever. Nice one.
Una gani? Ni ng'ombe gani?
Brother tena selector pull up.
Good bana. Wazee ni wasema ni making fun of.
Ingia jeshi.
Whatever mazee juu.
Ngoja whatever. Ngoja. So umesema delegation yetu ya kuenda Garissa ibomolewe. Hatuendi Garissa.
Whatever.
Sema.
Mbona uliniacha?
Huyo
nani huyo?
Whatever
sasa nikuulize. Whatever.
Ingia box.
What is your next move? Unaona utakaa single maisha yako yote, utarudi Murema, ulevi.
Mwenye ulikuwa unaambianga I'm married au sasa anza kujibu DMs na uanze wapigia simu. Sasa kwa tu malaya, a dedicated malaya, jitume hiyo sekta ingine.
Bana
Whatever.
Au nani anaongea? Sasa
achana nao
weekend gani anza sana?
Whatever.
Ndio malaya.
Hata sijui mbona mnasema weekend. Whatever sikupandishia hapa moja sasa. Nasikia unalipa bei 5k game moja.
Whatever. Tafadhali please leo si rant. Umesikia?
Okay, sawa.
Please ukitaka rant tu kwa DM yangu.
Mimi siwezi kuja kwa DM yako. Nakuja kwa DM yako.
Mbona na rant huko? Ukirant kwa timeline unajimalizia. Sasa unaharibu hadi potential wako.
Wewe huwezi pata
potential
udaku peke yako.
ya mademo yanakudai.
Whatever ukitaka kurant TL, we thrive in chaos. Tuko na wewe.
Hapana.
Mbona msee anaongea kama nani?
Kama advice ya Gen Z. Ni millennial. Acha Gen Z watupea advice kwa nini? Kwa politics. Kwa marriage.
Tumesoma vitabu.
Wewe lakini ngoja hiyo